Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you for joining me for day 27 of 30 days of yoga. So today this flow is a de-stress flow. So as we know in this modern day world, no matter who you are or what your life entails, we all have exposure to certain stresses and expectations and things going on. We all have our own stuff going on. So this flow is about trying to let go of some of that and ease some of those stresses. So we're gonna start in a comfortable seated position. And we're going to have the hands with the palms facing up, option to take your chin mudra and bring your index finger to your thumb. Close down the eyes or just take a steady gaze out in front. And we're going to take our coherent breathing, so breathing in for 6 and breathing out for 6. So when this is done for long enough, this can really help to bring our brain waves into a meditative state. It can help to lower our blood pressure, our heart rate. So slowing everything down. So inhaling through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Coming back to your natural breathing. Noticing any sensations, anything you can feel within the body. Seeing if you can soften your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw. Relaxing the neck and the shoulders. Letting the shoulder blades run down your back. And opening the eyes back up now if you had them closed. And we'll bring the hands now so the palms are facing down on the knees or the thighs. And inhale, roll the shoulders back, shine the heart forwards. Exhale, round the spine, drop the head, draw the belly button in towards the spine. Inhale, lift the head, shine the heart forwards. Exhale, rounding, dropping the head, drawing the belly in. Inhale, lifting, opening across the chest. Exhale, dropping the head, rounding. And then inhale, lift, and then we'll start to take this into some circular movement. So moving into the side body as well as opening and then rounding the spine. So moving over from each side, Keeping those sitting bones grounded. Staying with your breath and coming back in the opposite direction as well. I've got some interesting light shining into my room today, and I did think about blocking out the light so that I could have the perfect lighting for the practice, but there's something about this gorgeous shadow, and I think you can see sometimes the plant, and you know what, there's something about the kind of light coming through and the shadow that it makes that is perfectly imperfect, and I kind of like it. So, but yeah, let me know if you do or if it's distracting. So coming back to center now, and we're going to exhale and drop the chin down towards the chest, and I want you to start to roll your right ear over towards that right shoulder. And then bring the left arm out to the left side. An option to take the right hand to the left side of the head, just lightly resting it there. So we're going to do some nerve flossing. So inhale, reach the right fingertips up so they're facing the ceiling. And then exhale, point them back down. So inhale, reaching the left fingertips up. Exhale, pointing them back down. And just seeing if you can notice any sensations as you do this down the spine, in the neck, in the head. So this can be a nice way to calm kind of stressed out nerves. It can feel really funny if you're not used to it. Or equally, you may not feel any kind of sensations going on here. So just know that if that's you, that's okay too. Take the movements with the hand nice and slow. Last one. And release. Well done. Take it over to the other side. So right ear rolls over towards the right shoulder this time. Oh, sorry, left ear rolls over towards the left shoulder. Right fingertips reach out. Left hand can come to the right side of the head. Inhale, point the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, point them back down towards the ground. Inhale, pointing them up, slow movements. Exhale, point them back down. Inhale, pointing them up. Exhale, pointing them back down. Inhale, pointing them up. Last one. Exhale, point it back down. Well done. And really gently release. Slowly bring your head back up to center. Take a big shoulder roll here. Chest area, and I want you to start taking some tapping here in and around this heart and chest area. So often doing gentle kind of tapping on the body can be a really good way to get the energy moving. So when we're looking at the chakras, this is our heart chakra here, Anahata. So connected to our self-esteem, our self-worth, our connection to loving ourselves and others. But getting this energy moving and noticing how this area of the body feels in the chest area, the heart area. Does it feel tight and tense, or does it feel nice and free and open? Just observing, we're not judging. Well done, and release. So now we're going to make our way into a wide leg child's pose. So bring the knees out wide on your mat and sit the hips down towards the heels. Reach the arms forward to let the heart and the forehead sink down towards the mat. Close your eyes or take a steady gaze. Let the forehead connect to something here, whether that's the mat or your hands or a block. And taking some deep breaths. And observing how your body feels today. Perhaps noticing what your body wants you to know. And letting any thoughts passing through the thinking mind just come and go as visitors, knowing that they're not permanent, letting them pass through, coming and going. Connecting to that part of you that lies behind the thinking mind, that dwells in that deeper knowing part of you. Opening the eyes back up now and lifting the hips away from the heels, bring the knees back into parallel. More exhale, walk the hands out in front, melt the heart down towards the mat, find your puppy pose. Coming down onto the forearms if you need to modify. And letting the heart space sink down towards your mat. Finding your breath, using your breath as an anchor to ground, to reconnect to the present moment. Inhale, start to walk the hands back in. Tuck the feet under. Exhale, send the hips to the sky. Find a downward facing dog. Lifting the hips away from the ribs, sending the gaze between the knees. And then we're going to inhale, step this right foot through between the hands. And reach the fingertips up, find a high lunge. And then sweep the left arm out in front and the right arm comes out to the back of the room, finding a twist here. If that's too much, you can bring your hands to the hips and just take a twist from the waist to the right. Option to find your evolved reverse warrior, reaching the right hand to that back leg and left hands reaching up, hearts lifting. That's just an option. And releasing from the twist, float the hands down to frame that front foot and just drop your back left knee down. Ground into the left hand. Inhale, sweep the right arm up and over. So finding a twist here. The left hand could be on a block if you need to. Option to bend in that right leg, the left leg, sorry, and maybe the right hand finds the left foot. But if that's not accessible, you could just be taking your twist here. So be mindful of what feels right for you. Breathing. Releasing the back leg, bringing the right arm back up and over, and then bring your hands to the inside of the right foot, walk your right foot out. So we're finding lizard. Taking a bit of gentle movement here if you can in your lizard. Option to come down to the forearms if that's in your practice, getting a little bit deeper into that hip space, Svadhisthana. That's our second chakra. And we often store a lot of emotions, a lot of stress in the hips, the backs of the legs, the lower back. And grounding back through the hands, tuck the left toes under And step your right foot back. See if you can find a downward facing dog. Well done. Inhale, shift the shoulders forward so that they're above the wrists, and we'll come through a chaturanga. So either inhaling into an upward facing dog or cobra, and exhaling back to downward facing dog. This time, inhale, sweep the left foot through between the hands. Reach the fingertips up, lifting up and out from the waist. Exhale, twist. So right fingertips come out in front, left fingertips reaching behind, following with your gaze. Maybe you take your evolved reverse warrior. So left hand comes down to that back leg, right fingertips reaching up. Breathing here. And float the hands down to the mat. Drop your back knee. Inhale, sweep the left arm up and over. So finding a twist in your low lunge. And then either working here or maybe bending that back leg in. Maybe the left hand can come to the right foot. Sending your gaze to the back of the room or in that direction. Breathing. Thinking about letting go. On those exhales, breathing out anything that's not serving you, anything that's no longer needed. And release the back leg. Float the left hand back down to the mat and come into your lizard. So hands are on the inside of the left foot. Walk your left foot out and start to take any gentle movement here. Option to come down onto the forearms if that feels good for you. Keep drawing your awareness inwards, so to the breath, to the body. And then pressing the hands back down into the mat, walking that back foot in. Walking the left foot back in between the hands, power up through the back leg and float back to a downward facing dog. The knees down to the mat. Come up into a high kneeling position. Hands are going to come to the lower back. Legs are parallel. Inhale. Draw the elbows in towards each other and just gently press the hips forwards here, activating the glutes and the legs. So we're coming into our camel pose. So you can take a modified camel and just inhale, really make space, and on the exhale, just starting to lift the heart towards the ceiling. So really pressing forwards with the hips, maybe sending the gaze upwards towards the ceiling here. An option if it's in your practice to take the hands down towards the heels, but only if that feels right for you. Being mindful of the lower back, how your spine's feeling today. Inhaling, starting to come away from your camel. Gently sit the hips back down towards the heels and take a little shift from side to side. Taking some deep breaths here. And now bringing the hands back down to the mat, so we're in an all fours position. Keep the elbows tucked in towards the body, lower down so you're lying on your belly. And then just bring the fingertips out to the side slightly, arms are bent. And we're going to float some cobras here. So undulating on the inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, floating it back down to the mat. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, floating back down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, floating. Inhale, lifting. Last one, exhale, release. Well done. And then making your way over, so rolling over so that we're on our back. And you can roll over any way that feels right for you. And we're going to take a heart opening position to finish the class today. So if you've got a bolster, you can lie back on your bolster. If you don't, I'm going to demonstrate what you can do with two brick style kind of blocks. So you've got one block here, which we want this block here to be coming between the shoulder blades, so this thoracic part of the spine. So roughly finding that you've got this block between your kind of shoulder blade area. And then we need to have the other block supporting the head, so the head's going to rest on there. And then you're opening your arms out to the side with the palms facing up. So getting this opening across the chest, this little gentle heart lift here. As always, if anything doesn't feel right for you with the positioning of the blocks or with the bolster, then you can remove them and just take a normal Shavasana. And with the legs, you've got the option here to open out so that we're in this Supta Baddha Konasana position. But again, if that doesn't work for you, you can just have the legs bent or lengthened, closing down the eyes, or taking your gaze up to the ceiling. And connecting with some slow, soft breaths. And on your exhales, I want you to imagine letting go and releasing any stress. Anything that's not serving you and that's no longer needed is being released. Trying to elongate your exhales here if you can. Taking a long, slow exhale. Letting the body become heavy on your blocks, your mat. Surrendering your body weight to the ground that's beneath you. Feeling a sense of being supported and held. Taking one more deep breath here, but of course if you have longer, then please do stay in your Shavasana for longer. gently and really carefully start to remove your blocks. Let the spine and the head just rest straight down on your mat. And then you can roll over to one side, whichever side you're drawn to. And let the practice wash over you here. And from here, start to gently ease your way back to a comfortable seated position on the mat. And bring the hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra, this prayer position. And we'll reach the hands to the forehead to acknowledge our inner wisdom. Bring them down to the lips to acknowledge speaking your truth. Bring them to the heart to acknowledge living with love and compassion. And then bring them down to the ground to honour being in the present moment. Thank you so much for joining me for this de-stress flow. I hope that you found it helpful. There are other practices like this on my channel, so if you enjoyed this, then do have a look through. And there's other kind of guided meditations and things on here. And check out the link below to my membership, where there's much longer practices, longer shavasana, guided meditations, asana alignment and things like that on there. I also do live online retreats. So do take a look at that, and do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. It's completely free. Comment and feedback to me on how you're getting on. I love to hear from you. And yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here, and I can't wait to flow with you again very soon. Bye bye.